Welcome to Massive Ventures. If you're new to hiking or just starting out, then in this video I'm going to give you 3 major points that you need to think about when you first start hiking, so stick around to find out. I'm going to share 3 important points. If you haven't already subscribed though, and you're interested in hiking videos, gear reviews and advice, then press the subscribe button and the bell icon too, so you never miss a video. So really, if you truly want to get into hiking, then there's nothing stopping you from doing it right now. All you need is motivation and some decent footwear, and you just head out that door, find a route and just go for it. But if you want to get serious about it, then there are a few things you need to think about. The first point I'm going to talk about is gear. And the first point of that is footwear. Boots are a very good choice. They keep your feet warm, good for ankle support, they can be waterproof, a very thick sole, and they can be relatively cheap. You know, they could be about 30-40 quid and they'll do you pretty well. In my personal experience, I do have boots as well. However, now that I'm starting to get into longer distances and all seasons, all weather, I personally prefer trail runners, which are basically trainers. Trainers designed for cross-country runners or long-distance hikers. And the reason why they're so good is because they're lightweight, breathable, they've got amazing grip. When they get wet, they dry pretty quick as well. Per inch of material made to make trail runners compared to boots can be a lot more expensive. Definitely something you need to think about. But if you're thinking of covering lots of miles or you want to hit a national trail, then I would highly suggest you go and check out some trail runners. So you're also going to think about getting some clothes too. For the colder days, you're going to want to think about getting a down jacket, a fleece to go underneath that, a base layer, and then you want to go and get yourself some long johns, some trousers, some thicker socks. That's definitely what you'll need for the there's a sheep over there. That's definitely what you're going to need for the colder months. The warmer months, however, it is going to be a little bit cheaper if you're starting off in the summer, because really all you're going to need are shorts, a dry wicking t-shirt, some shades, a hat and some sun cream. And as we live in the UK, or for those who live in the UK, you are 100% going to have to buy yourself some waterproofs. At least a jacket. Some people will go for the trousers too, but personally I overheat when I wear extra trousers on top of my trousers. The minimum I would say is a jacket. If you're thinking you're going to be staying out on one of these hikes, then this is where you're going to be spending a lot of your money. This is where, if you have a budget, a lot of it is going to go onto this. You're going to want to get a tent, whether that's a 1-man, 2-man. It needs to be weather appropriate for what you're going for. You also want to get a sleeping bag and sleeping mat. Sleeping mat has an R value, which is the reflective heat properties of the mat. The higher the R value, the warmer it will be, also the more expensive it will be. The sleeping bag, you want to get a down or synthetic. Down is more expensive, however it does squash down a lot smaller, and personally I find it a lot more comfortable and a lot more warmer. And lastly, you're going to want to get a pillow. That is my luxury item, therefore I go for the biggest, softest, best pillow I can get, which still packs down to like that. You can get most of this stuff on this list pretty cheap if you shop around or go onto second-hand websites, but it can get pretty expensive if you want to go light. If you want to try and keep your weight down or go ultra light, then that's where it starts to get a little bit expensive. A great site to go to, which I shop there myself, is Ultralight Outdoor Gear. The good thing about this site is that there's a lot of sale items on there, and they also sort a list by weight as well, which I find amazingly helpful. So you just lightest to heaviest. Usually that also means most expensive to the cheapest as well. To save weight on a budget, what I like to say, if you lay all your kit out and you point to an item and you say, well, I might need that, or I'll take it just in case, then most likely you are not going to need it. So leave it at home, save some weight. Another thing you could do too is that if you are hiking with someone else, especially someone who's maybe a little bit fitter, what you can do is share your load, share gear. So if 2 of you are going, perhaps share a tent, share a cooker. Obviously I said if they're fitter, maybe they can carry extra water, extra food. That's another way of saving weight as well. The essentials that you should carry at all times are a mobile phone for emergency purposes, a cash or card to pay for a taxi perhaps, a lighter if you can't start a fire with your matches or your flint, and a first aid kit. If this is going to be your first hike, then I would suggest to start small. Put on a pair of trainers, go to your local park or forestry commission, walk around in a loop, come back on yourself for a couple of hours, or if you live near a hill, you're lucky enough to live in Brecon Beacons, hike to the summit and back down and call it a day. Don't overwhelm yourself or get stressed out or worried. Start small and work your way up. This is a good way as well of working out your fitness. To keep it easy, I would suggest going to places of interest. An example of that would be Cheddar Gorge. They have notice boards. There will be multiple difficulties of routes. They'll be color coded and you'll be able to follow that route all the way around with ease. There'll be more people there as well if you get worried that maybe you're alone, and you also won't be too far away from a town or civilization. You're also going to want to work out whether you're going to be hiking alone or in a group, because if you're in a group you're going to have to think about other people's strengths and weaknesses and their fitness levels. Hiking at different times of the year is also something to think about. In the winter you're going to want to carry more layers, whereas in the summer you're going to want to carry extra water and sunscreen. Both weather extremes have different impacts on your decision making skills and your feet. Now, to create a route, I would highly suggest you look into an app called Komoot. You can also access it on PC. It's got its own website. You sign up to it and it's a great place to create routes, explore areas, and also share experiences with other people. It's that easy that all you've got to do is pick a start point and an end point, and it'll work out the route for you if that's how you want it to be. Because Komoot is an app, you can get it onto your phone, download the route you created onto your phone, and you can use it then as a turn-by-turn voice navigation tool. You're also going to want to know what type of route you're going to be on, whether it's a windy coastline or a cold peak or a wet forest. And finally, know your limits and capabilities. Start small and work your way up. Now, my final point is stopping out. I worded it this way because this can have many meanings. For instance, you might want to camp out in a campsite where you have a toilet and shower block. There might be a shop, there's other people, there's dogs, there's laughter, there's campfires, there's all that. However, if you're like me and you like your privacy and you like your quiet, then I would highly suggest you try wild camping. I love wild camping, all alone, surrounded by nature, just the sounds of swaying trees and birds singing their song and sheep breaking twigs and scaring you in the middle of the night. But what you're going to need to remember is that the only places you can wild camp is Dartmoor and Scotland. Everywhere else you must gain the landowner's permission. But if you make sure you pitch your tent 100 meters away from the nearest road, out of sight of any dwellings, make sure you're not on a floodplain, don't make fires if you're not allowed to make fires, pitch your tent when night falls and collapse it before the sun comes up, then you can pretty much wild camp anywhere you want. But remember, leave no trace. Don't leave anything behind. Don't leave a hole in the floor. Don't leave a used fire pit. Don't leave any litter. Make sure that when you look back of where you were, it looks like you never were there. So when it comes to the tent, you want to make sure that it's weather appropriate and it's lightweight, because at the end of the day you are going to be carrying it all day, and you don't want it to be a really heavy two-man tent if it's just you and it's summer and all you need is a single skin tent. And the other option you've got of staying out when you go hiking is hotels and B&Bs, and I don't have to explain the pros of doing that. However, it is going to incur more cost to your trip if you want to try and go down that hiking hobby thing on a weekend where you don't want to spend any money or go out on nights out and stuff. Then you want to stay away from the hotels. So those are my 3 points. I wanted to keep it short and sweet for you, major pointers for you to get started on your first hike. However, if you want me to go into greater detail of any of these points, then leave a comment down below and I'll make sure that in future videos I'll go into more depth on each of those points. Again, if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, press the bell icon too to never miss any of these videos in the future. Thank you for watching and enjoy your first hike.